of the World Open. First 5 frames to go through. Neil Foulds watching alongside me. Good evening, Neil.
Yes, good evening, Philip, and everyone watching the coverage. It's a terrific win that Joe O'Connor had against Judd Trump, but in some ways, you know, going onto a wide outside table and the outside tables and lose. But he didn't do that. There's an argument that Murphy has played as well this week as anybody, and O'Connor is with his game. I agree with you that even though it's 3...
A year after his most recent meeting with Murphy, just ran out of puff in the title match against Gary Wilson, who won easily. But
yeah, I think he does play well in the big matches, maybe the matches in which there are... Played well in Wales, but definitely lost his game towards the end of... And his cue action is quite secure, I think. But straight enough just to run it through onto the black to the... He's got to do something here. Little nudge, and that's, again, a nice shot.
33 on the one-year list, Joe O'Connor. Title this week, then he would be in the Players' Championship.
Yeah, I mean, it's important that you stamp your authority on a match early, especially playing Murphy. O'Connor's done here, and give him his share early on and make him think different.
But this looks like being a rather different story. Coolness under pressure. Plays at his own pace. And he's beginning, I think, to deliver on that early potential. He's getting better.
But you see, he doesn't play any ever want to see, really, if you were picking apart someone's cue action, but there's no need to do that with him. He doesn't have a coach. He made that point cushion rail because it gives you less cue at the back, but came to prominence, didn't he, with those couple of eye-catching wins at level, I think. As Philip said, you know, the win with Selby, who knows, he could end up in the Players' Championship. Put him in the next event, the 16-man event. Actually, really good what he's doing. I mean, he
never looked like missing, has he?
Safety on the with 3 reds left in the frame, which turned out to be the last one at 4-3 up, and that easily, totally different setup and dynamic to that match, to this one and the one with Trump, which proceeds.
We'd had 91 centuries coming into this evening session on the 5th day in Yushan. And there's another one, and a total clearance at that. 135 from Joe O'Connor. What a performance.
Delivered, but unfortunately, sometimes it's a bit of a loophole. That's a fabulous shot. I mean, he's cueing like a dream. Just look at that for a shot. There seems to be no end to it, really. He's playing delightfully.
Well, I think he's missed 1 ball in live play, and when I say miss, I mean it was a long red off Murphy's break, which was obviously no gimme by any stretch. So that's a measure of how well O'Connor's played. Murphy's not done very much wrong at all. Of course, he made a century himself in frame 3, but he's almost certainly going to be 3-1 adrift. Another outstanding display from O'Connor. We've seen a lot of them recently. Karen Wilson at the Welsh Open, and of course Judd Trump this week, and this is more of the same from O'Connor at the moment. Murphy can be quite philosophical, I think, because it's not that he's struggled by any means. He's just been outplayed so far.
Yes, I mean, he came in at the Welsh Open a couple of times to the studio where he seemed to just be immensely calm, even in victory. You see players sometimes straight after a match, they're a bit hyped up, they're jubilant, but he was kind of almost on to the next match, thinking about it, calm and very clinical. The kind of snooker he's playing kind of takes your opponent out of the equation, really. No matter who's sitting in the chair. Well, up against this, there's nothing they can do.
Yes, he's a very unassuming character. Quite shy, actually, it would appear, when he's being interviewed. He doesn't give a lot away, but what a player. And he seems to be getting stronger. Clearly, for whatever reason, results, performances weren't there in early season, but he's putting things right now, and it's not a bad time to find your form, is it, with the World Championship looming, and who knows, still the possibility for O'Connor of appearing in the Players' Championship were he to go on and
25.
Win the title. And playing like this, he's certainly a serious contender to do that.
26.
That black has been glued to the side cushion for the large majority of this frame. And when O'Connor first
52.
came to the table, a break of any substance looked unlikely, but he carved out 49 quite brilliantly, and, well,
33.
he just can't miss at the moment. I think Murphy will be grateful for the mid-session interval, if only because it will inevitably halt the momentum that his opponent at the moment is building. And of course, we saw what happened against Carter at the Welsh Open when he played very well to lead 3-1, but the second half of the match was very different. So that interval can and has on many occasions changed things.
Good point in the case of the Carter match, but as you say, I don't think he'd want to really leave the table now. I'd like to carry on out there. The way he's playing like a man possessed, isn't he? I mean, this break has been unbelievable. He's had 2 centuries, but there's an
46.
argument that this frame, he's been even more impressive.
48.
A couple of very decent breaks. Playing all the shots.
$55.
Well, 2 quite outstanding breaks in this frame from Joe O'Connor to go with the 2 centuries in the first 2.
66.
As a quartet of frames go, it's been special, and I can't imagine Joe O'Connor has played much better than he has so far today. He's still got to finish the job.
$61.
He's pushed that red safe, so he's just got to ask himself whether he wants to play on the red down the cushion. Of course, he would be 59 in front significantly if this goes in, so it could only be a tie with 4 reds, blacks and all the colours from Murphy to force a respot, which all of that seems an awful long way off in the mind of, I'm sure, Murphy, I'm certain. So if this goes in, this red, it is one of the most outstanding performances for many a season in a best-of-9 frame match. And Murphy has been on the receiving end.
And yes, he did miss a black early in this frame, Murphy, but he's not done much wrong aside from that. Oh, but hang on, not quite. So, still enough there for Murphy to tie the frame.
It's an amazing game, isn't it, snooker? That is the last piece of the jigsaw, knocking that red in. And it was nowhere near. In fact, I'm almost glad it never dropped, because it was nowhere near close enough to drop. And Murphy would be very interested here in the possibility of getting a tie. 59 to force a respot. You know, mind already is on that right-hand red, and he'd probably have to double it to the left middle, quite honestly.
8.
Because he'd have to land on the black, don't forget.
Nine.
Well, that was a gamble, wasn't it? And really, now I think the red's in even worse a position, an even worse position than it would have been.
No room to manoeuvre, of course, for Murphy. He's got to take blacks with these remaining reds and all the colours to tie the frame. And it stayed out.
Yeah, too much to ask, wasn't it? And maybe he'll regret the shot he played there, which was to nudge the red out, when really, I suppose, you think about it, maybe just to leave yourself the double, which guarantees being on the black, would have been a safer option. Very easy, isn't it? But the pressure's been put under. It's been amazing. It's the only ball, I think, in the match of any relevance he's missed was the last red down the cushion there, O'Connor. It's played this sublime snooker today. That one ball that he missed just a few minutes ago is basically all he's missed of any relevance. All credit to him. Outstanding.
Four.
He beat Judd Trump earlier in the week and played superbly to do so. He did likewise to Kyron Wilson at the Welsh Open
5.
and to Mark Selby at the World Championship last season. But in terms of level of performance, this surely has to rank as the finest display of Joe O'Connor's career to date. To turn it on in the way he has against one of the best players of the season and the Masters champion, Shaun Murphy,
14.
who's barely made more than a couple of mistakes himself, and yet has only got one frame to show for his efforts.
Champion.
And I think Murphy will warmly congratulate Joe O'Connor on a job exceptionally well done.
Joe O'Connor, 17.
What a performance from the Leicester man. 3 centuries and many other big breaks. And I think Shaun Murphy is doing exactly that. He's saying, well played, just way too good. And good luck for the rest of the tournament. He really was special today, O'Connor.